Come on in, everyone. Come on in because we are back for Somebody's Son on OWN TV, season 1, episode 6. And they are calling this episode of Somebody's Son Bear It All because this was the episode everyone had to take off their makeup and show their bare skin, their bare face. And I guess this is something men are asking for. I guess this reality TV show is trying to address all the things men want to see, and they want to see women without all the makeup. But they didn't make them tell us to take out our hair or whatever we got going on. But I'll tell you this, all the ladies look beautiful, absolutely beautiful, even in their bare skin. I didn't see one bad skin woman on the show. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I guess that's because they're spending all this money on personal care. Good Lord, these bills were high. Is it just me or were these bills high? I was shocked. I was like, how do you do that? How do you spend $2,000, one person with $1,800 every month on just your beauty? How much is your rent? Man, here in LA, rent is $2,500 for a 1-bedroom. So, geez, that was just on beauty. That didn't even include clothing, and didn't include gas, didn't include, do you save any money? Or is everything you make going right out the door? Y'all, you ladies you guys are scaring me. Are you putting away any money? Are you saving any money? But they look beautiful because I guess they're getting their money's worth. They look beautiful with all that makeup. So we're going to talk about that, what the bills were. We're going to talk about how Tamaris got played. Tamaris, girl, you got played. You got played by Shambrielle and Lexi. They took you out mentally. They sabotaged you and you fell for it. I'm a little concerned about Tamaris. She may not be fit for this. I'm starting to realize she may not be fit for this. She's a sweet girl. I really, really like her. But if she is struggling now with holding her own with Lexi and Shambrielle, can you imagine if she really did become the girlfriend of an NFL football player? She wouldn't make it. She might not make it. She would have to mentally toughen up a little bit, which is sad because she's a sweet girl. You can tell she's got a little bit of an innocence to her, but she may not be cut out for this, y'all. She really may not be cut out for this. I mean, and nothing's wrong with it. It's just an observation that I'm seeing right now. I don't think that little one-on-one pulling Josh aside went over as well as she thinks it does. I think what he thought of her in the end was she might be a little bit too thin-skinned. And I'll see if he wants to, protect that, or if it will feel like too much work from him because she's a little too sensitive. We'll have to see. But anyway, I guess the show was called Bear It All. That was the title of the show. I like to retitle my videos. So if I had to retitle it, I guess I would title it You Got Played. You got played, Tamaris. Sorry, girl. Shambrielle and Lexi both played you. And I know Lexi got a lot of experience doing this. Lexi, we saw it from the very beginning, but I don't want to get too far in it. Let me go ahead and play my introduction video real quick. And while I'm playing it, don't forget to like the video, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment, plural, down below. And we'll be right back to talk about it more in detail. All right, see you in a minute. So anyway, when the show comes on, season 1, episode 6 of Bear It All of Never Ever, not Never Ever, man, it's goodness, Somebody's Son on OWNTV, we get Tamaris. We get the recap of Tamaris. Remember, she's coming back from the date with Joshua, and they had a good date. But what happens is Tamaris lets Lexi and Shambrielle get in her head. And we saw Lexi and Shambrielle hatching this plan while they were gone. They already devised a plan how they were going to divide and conquer. and one person was going to isolate Tamaris, and the other person was going to isolate Joshua, and they were going to get as much intel as they could. And then what Lexi did was Lexi went a little further. Really, it wasn't Chambrel. Chambrel was pressing Tamaris for a lot of information, but it was in that moment I didn't think Tamaris should have told um, Chambrel all about her date. And later on, even Joshua said that. He said, well, I don't think this was a situation where we should be downloading all of our interaction with the ladies, because that kind of creates this very scenario. In one ways, you could say, well, I don't want to download information because why should you be telling people what your private moments were with Joshua? On another moment, maybe they were trying to say, well, let's all download our information so we can make sure he's not trying to play us all. But in this moment, because Tamaris was first on the date, she downloaded all her information and it was used against her. In fact, Lexi went a little too far. What Lexi did was she put a little bit of hot sauce on the words of Joshua. I think all Joshua was trying to do to Lexi was say, Lexi, listen, yeah, I went on a date with Tamaris, but that doesn't mean I'm sold and I'm not going to still be open to dating the other ladies. The door is absolutely still open. Well, what Lexi decided to do was take that and go back to Tamaris and say, just to let you know, he said he ain't sold on you and the door is wide open for anyone else to come through. So you obviously didn't close the deal. Um, One is she put too much hot sauce on it when she talked to Tamaris. But the other part of Tamaris that I have to kind of hold her accountable to is I'm not for sure what she thought was going to happen. Did she think she was going to go on a date and seal the date right away? That's almost like what her expectations were. Like, I would go on this date, I would knock it out the park, and he and I would be locked in. Now, why would she think that? Why would she think that? And I don't know if she was thinking of it like from a point of arrogance. I think what she was thinking of it from is I don't think Tamaris likes to really date. There are a lot of women out here who don't like dating. And so what they do is they lock in really fast. And they lock in so fast, not because the guy is necessarily so great or they thoroughly have vetted the guy. They lock in so fast is because what they're really trying to do is get out of the dating world really fast. And that's what I think Tamaris is. If Tamaris has been picking the wrong man, I can really see some of the things that she does. One is she doesn't open up. She's hard to crack. She's very guarded. And then what happens is she latches on real fast to a guy before she's vetted the guy. And in order to vet the guy, you have to date the guy. And I don't think Tamaris really likes dating. I think she just wants to go straight from meeting you, having a few dates, and then we're all booed up and we're couple. And then what she does is she wants to get to know you in the confines of a monogamous relationship. But sometimes what happens is that doesn't end up being led to monogamy and she ends up getting hurt. Tamaris has got to become more comfortable with just dating. And that doesn't mean that she has to sleep with every guy she goes out with. She can still have her boundaries. And there's nothing wrong with her dating a guy and he's dating another woman at the same time. But what she can do is she can say, I won't sleep with them. I don't know why women don't try to um, date men for a period of time, knowing he's dating other women, because you're both are trying to get to know each other. Why are you trying to lock down each other so soon? But you don't have to be a woman that say sleeping with a man who's also sleeping with a whole lot of other women. You can say, hey, you know what? I understand that you're dating other women. We're not exclusive. And I also understand that you got needs. So you know what? Go get your itch scratched. Go get your needs met. But here in my world, I would prefer getting to know you to a certain extent before I have sexual relations with you. And, and if you can't get to know me, at least for a period of time without having sex with me, then, I guess that's the first deal killer of the game. I'm not talking about making a man wait 9 months or 7 months or 6 months. I'm not talking about all this. I'm talking about the strategy of one, women learning how to date multiple men, two, and then narrowing down that field of choice, and three, women learning how to date men without necessarily having to sleep with them in the beginning. Tamaris hasn't mastered the art of dating, And as a result, I think she rushes into relationships before she fully knows the guy. That's what I think. But let me tell you, these ladies, Lexi, who I know has a lot of experience with mind games with women, took her out. Took her out. Had her crying on the couch, doubting herself, all these sorts of things. And the idea was she really had a good shot. But what we're seeing between the three ladies in terms of self-esteem, and maybe in the end, it may be Chambrielle. I don't know. But I tell you what, Chambrielle didn't get chosen once again for the date. Once again, Chambrielle didn't get chosen for the date. Something's going on here. Something is going on. But Tamaris is like, I thought the date went well. But now I hear this chatter coming back from Lexi, which Lexi put some hot sauce on it. And now she's disappointed, hurt, and sad. But then they got to get the little, hey, let's figure out what y'all look like with no makeup on, the Bear It All series. They had to go take up all their makeup. At first, both Lexi and Chambrielle weren't so sure about that. But I tell you, when those ladies came back, especially Chambrielle, she looked better without makeup than she did with makeup, to be honest with you. And Lexi was holding it together. She was holding it together. She might have had a few little blemishes here and there going on with her skin, but you know what? She looked good. She looked good. And same thing with Tamaris. She looked good too. She put some vitamin E on that skin and had it glistening when she came down. It was glistening. But when we looked at the money that each of these ladies was spending, Chambrielle says she spends almost $1,800. Hair installed $250, hair itself $450, mani pedis $200, full set, lashes $125, skincare $150, gym $200, spa $300, teeth whitening $140, $1,800 a month. First of all, I'm gonna question a couple of these expenditures because I don't think Chambrielle is getting her teeth whitened every single month. So is this 140 every 6 months, Chambrielle? Because if that's so, then that's really closer to maybe $25 a month. Because I don't even think it's safe to get your teeth whitened every month. Doesn't that mess up the enamel? That don't seem right. A $300 spa a month, maybe that's a massage, a few little massage and a facial or something. I know skincare is 160, lashes 125. I sure hope you ladies have a high paying job, or I hope that you ladies have some savings. I really hope that they're not out here spending all this money. And hair, 450. If you spend a 450 on hair, don't you think that hair should last you more than a month? Please don't tell me you're buying new 450 hair every single month. That 450 hair should be lasting you at least a year. So that seems odd. Very, very odd. Ain't no way I would be spending $1,800 a month on all this stuff. You guys better go on Amazon and figure out how to do a few of these things in home. Maybe every other month. Maybe get a massage every other month. Maybe one month your husband gives you massages and the other month you go get a professional. Maybe skincare, you do at-home facial month one, and then the next month you go and get it done for the professional. Maybe you do, I don't know. I don't know. But I'm gonna tell you right now, this is high maintenance, very, very high maintenance. Lexi, on the other hand, was very low maintenance. She was almost too low. She was at 120. Girl, you need to do a few more things. But remember, Lexi got kids. So, when you have children and you have more than one mouth to feed, I can see how you have to change your priorities. And that was the reason why Josh even chose her to go out on a date, because he was good. Because I'm not trying to spend $2,000 a month on your skincare and hair routines. But Chambrielle told him later that, hey, I don't expect you to pay for my upkeep. I can pay for my own as long as you are paying all the other bills in the house: car, house note, rent, light, gas, electricity. She says, I have the ability to make $2,000 a month. I got skills. I got talent. I can easily make $2,000 a month. And as long as I don't have to pay for anything else, I'm good. That's why I don't understand why women need all these, NFL football player money. It's crazy. Why don't you just get a man who owns a house, or a man who's already has a nice place and he's paying the rent? You move in, sure, you save rent right there. Women don't know how to do math. Women really don't know how to do math. They really don't. A lot of women out here struggling, trying to do it all, trying to pay for all this beauty products at $2,000 a month, pay their rent, car note, gas, electricity, mortgage, whatever else, health care. And they're looking for like the jackpot. They're looking for the guy that can come in and take it all off their plate. When really you just need a partner. You know what I mean? Yeah, maybe it'd be great if all you had to do was worry about your own $2,000 a month personal care, and he got the rent paid. He's doing it now. He living somewhere. Sometimes women wait for the man making $200,000 a year, and but they're all happy at their job if they get a raise of only what, $200 a month. What a raise is now on jobs, 3%, 5%, right? So you all happy every year when you get a performance review and you get a little extra 5% raise or 10% raise, but then you turn your nose up at a guy who says, you know what? You can move in with me. We can get married and you don't have to pay the rent. I've been paying it all this time. I might as well keep going. Right then and there, you saving $2,500. If you paying $2,500 for rent and you get a guy who's like, you know what, I'll cover the rent because I'm doing it now, you saving $2,500. But we turn our nose up at that man. But we rather be out here doing it alone. People need to realize that you can get through life a lot better with a partner than without a partner. Really, really, really. Um, it's not only a love thing, it's a financial thing, y'all. It's not only a love thing, it is a financial thing. But Lexi is realizing that because she got two kids, and she's like, even with whatever child support she's getting, she can't be doing all this. Tamaris says she got brow lamination. I had to look it up. I didn't even know what that was. Brow lamination. That's $450 a month. A month, Tamaris? You got to get that procedure done every month, or is that another one of those things where you get it every couple of months? Um, the hair install, $500 for massages. Tamaris must be awfully stressed. Girl, you must be awfully stressed. You see, that's what I'm saying. Get you a man. Get you a man and let him give you some massages. There you go. That's a savings right there for $500. Let him give you a massage once a month. Do give each other's one. Make it sexy. Who knows? And then Tamara said, "Let me throw in a $500 on the extras miscellaneous." That's that sludge fund. She came up with 2,000. She said she is a bag. She was a whole bag. And then when Josh learned about all these expenses, he says, "Can't you learn how to do your own hair?" Mama Oma, Auntie Oma had to school Josh and says, "Don't be counting their money. Don't be making these ladies scrimp on their money because this is what women do." And Auntie Oma, if the truth is like all y'all saying that Auntie Oma is bleaching, Auntie Oma is telling you, just thank goodness they ain't got to bleach too, because that would be another 2 grand. Auntie Oma says some of this stuff is coming in low because when you add in my bleach cream, it might be another $1,000. I don't know. Have y'all tell it. Have y'all tell it. Bleaching cream and blue eye contacts. But after all that, Josh told Lexi to go out on the date because she was the cheapest. He was like, I can take her to a place that's not going to be so expensive since she is only spending 120. So they went to get a massage and she was impressed. She goes, "Oh, this is so wonderful." Yeah, it's wonderful because you know what she doesn't pay for every month? Massages. Had he taken um had he taken Tamaris to get a massage who's spending $500 a month, she might not have appreciated it. She would have been like, "Man, I don't like this spa. They ain't giving me no champagne. They ain't doing this because the one I go to the one where it's way better than this." And next thing you know, she would have been unimpressed, and Josh would have been trying to impress her. And he would be like, "How do I impress a woman that gets massages 2 times a month?" He was like, "Let me take Lexi instead because I know she's gonna be impressed." And they had a good time. They got to explore, as Josh said, he wanted to explore some of the body language going on with Lexi because Lexi was the one that tended to have She seemed to be a little bit more apprehensive about taking all the makeup off. But they was popping champagne, and Lexi started talking about how she got to protect herself, and she's used to men pouring into her, but she's got to protect herself. So I that seems sort of a contradiction. She's talking about men, she's used to men pouring into her, but then she's also saying she's so used to having to protect herself. So I think what she's saying is she's used to men chasing her, pouring into her to get her. But then after he snags her and ropes her in, then all of a sudden he maybe starts treating her poorly or undesirably, and now she's got to protect herself. Well, don't fall for the okie doke. Don't fall for the okie doke. If you continually find yourself with a man overly pouring into you, and then all of a sudden you end up having to protect yourself, you must not be noticing red flags, and you must be falling for the okie doke. Pay attention more closely. Don't fall for the beautiful words and the champagne and all the pouring into you. Sometimes when people are overdoing and love bombing you, that in itself is a red flag. I don't know what to tell you. But she said the last 3 years she has been in a place of transformation because Josh was like, "What you doing with your life? Where are you going?" Josh said he want to be owning multiple properties in multiple states. And Lexi says she wants to be in a relationship, and she wants to be married. And he said that he could see himself in 3 years growing towards marriage and having children, which means he might be more on the 5 year track. We said he was young, 28. I don't know if Josh is ready to get married in 3 years. I think he may be ready to get married in maybe 5 years. So if you're a woman that got 5 years, I don't know if Lexi got 5 years. How old is Lexi? But she said, one thing you got to know about me, Josh, is I'm always going to be a parent first. And she said she has a good, healthy co parenting lifestyle with the father of the children. And Josh was basically saying he don't want to be no stepdad. He was trying to be nice about it. He was trying to be politically correct. But in the end, he don't want to be no stepchild. I'm not stepchild, step parent. He don't want to play the role. He really does not want to play the role. So right now, why is he out with Lexi? I guess because she was the cheapest date. I don't know. He had a lot of chemistry with Chambrielle, so I wonder why he didn't choose Chambrielle for the date, unless he's trying to leave the best for last. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what's going on. But even after he went out on that date with Lexi, he wasn't safe because that was when Tamaris said, "I need to pull you to the side because I'm feeling some kind of way. I'm feeling insecure. And I feel misled. I feel like you took advantage of me." She was using a whole lot of adjectives about her feelings. And I was like, I really didn't see Josh do anything that horribly. What he said, I didn't believe was that bad. So she's sitting up here completely going off of the words of Lexi. So mistake number one. I would feel some kind of way if you were already mad at me, but you never came to me and validated what you heard from Lexi. So one thing I didn't like what Tamaris did was she automatically believed everything Lexi said. So it's one thing about Lexi, basically manipulating you, sabotaging you, and then you get in your feelings. But then what you should have said was you should have gone to Josh and say, "Hey, I had a conversation with Lexi, and she said a few things and it made me kind of feel a certain kind of way, but I want to make sure that I wasn't reading it wrong." And maybe that's what you should have come with. But what Tamaris did was Tamaris showed up with her hurt feelings on a plate, and she immediately put Josh on the defense. I mean, I think he did a good job not not sort of coming at her a wrong way. There are a lot of men who would have said something to Tamaris, would have been like, "Well, I didn't say that." And he could have thrown it back on her because honestly, I didn't really like her approach to Josh for the situation. One is I didn't like that she sucked up all the words from Lexi without questioning it. And then what I didn't like was she came with those hurt feelings and she automatically put Josh on the defense before even verifying if those were his true feelings. She eventually got to ask him his true feelings, but what she led with was her hurt feelings, which were her hurt feelings without even having the information validated. That bothered me. So that's why, to me, if I'm sitting across from Tamaris, you just showed me a red flag too, Tamaris. I'm not gonna lie to you. You showed me a red flag, and what I'm wondering is, wow, am I gonna have to be walking on eggshells with this woman Is this woman going to always get her feelings hurt before she validates or has a conversation with me about what I might have said? I'm all for taking accountability if I said something to you that might have hurt your feelings, but I would at least want you to first come to me when you heard something secondhand. I would want you to first come to me and ask me, is this what I said? And I would want you to ask me what more my intentions when I said that. And then if after you hear my answer, if you then want to say, well, based on what I told you, your feelings are hurt, we can have a conversation. But for you to just come to me and say your feelings are hurt over what someone said to you who you're in competition with, and you believe them before you even believed what we experienced on our date, I'm thinking, ah. And let me tell you, if you're going to be married to a football player, Tamaris, there's going to be a lot of women who do to you what Lexi did. Oh, your man was looking at me. Your man liked my picture in IG. Your man commented on my post. Your man looked in my direction. Your man did this. Your man did that. That's what a lot of women do. They want to report back what your man did because what they're hoping you do is exactly what Tamaris does. And basically, you already just take yourself out the game because you over here believing the other woman. People better verify information, you know. But that's what happens when you've been dealing with a lot of lying men. And I think what Tamaris is doing is she's probably been involved with a lot of lying men. And what she thinks is, I can trust women more than I can trust men. So I'm going to believe the woman. And I'm not saying that men don't lie. They certainly do lie. But I tell you this, if you're trying to build a bond with a man or anyone, let's forget about building a bond with a man. If you're trying to build a bond with a person, but you're already trusting a whole nother person more than you trust the person you're trying to build the bond with, that's a red flag. It's a red flag, Tamaris. You better get it together, girl. You better get it together. Right now, of all the ladies, I believe the one that's showing the most self-confidence is probably Chambrielle. Lexi, we already saw her insecurity when Martha was there. She's insecure. And then now we're seeing Tamaris. And Chambrielle seems the only one that is showing a confidence. It's going to be interesting to see the date Chambrielle has with Joshua. It is going to be real interesting. But Tamaris, yeah, girl, you better learn how to date. You're going to get eaten up out here in this world. Eaten up and eaten alive. Really, really you are. But as we move on to the next bachelor, James and his mom, Charlize. James is coming back talking about how he had a wonderful date with Alyssa. Alyssa, girl, listen, Alyssa makes her living batting her eyelashes, giving men good looks, smiling, and getting tips. Okay? She's a professional. She is, in a lot of ways, in order to do the job that Alyssa does, I think she has a couple of jobs. The job she does in the nightclub scene, I'm sure she also gets good tips from that job, which means she needs to be good at flirting, which means she needs to be good at working men. And I'm not saying it in a way in which she compromises her integrity or her body, but if you're going to work that type of a scene, you've got to know how to flirt. You got to know how to smile. You got to know how to bat your eyelashes. You got to know how to do all of that, because what you want is you want at the end of the night for that group of people, to that group of men or women, whoever it's going to be, to give you a tip. You want them to order a lot of food. You want them to be comfortable. You want them to keep spending money. And what Alyssa is doing is she's using those same techniques on James, and James is absolutely smitten. James is almost like Players Club with Lisa Ray. Remember Lisa Ray and McCoy in Players Club, how she worked that man? Or maybe it wasn't Players Club. Was it Lisa Ray and The Best Man when she was with the square dude? And she turned out the square dude. I don't know which one it was. I know it was Lisa Ray, though. But anyway, that's what Alyssa and James is giving to me. He is so smitten by her. He's not looking at anything else about Alyssa at this point. We know Bravon doesn't have a chance. She still does not have a chance. But when they had the whole take the makeup off, once again, ladies are beautiful. Sabernet, beautiful. Bravon, beautiful. Alyssa, beautiful, beautiful skin all the way around, bare-faced, really, really great. And then when they started talking about um, their bills, they got an eye opener. You know, when James told his mom that he was really wanting to kiss Alyssa, um, Miss Charlize was saying, "Well, who wouldn't be excited with everything hanging out?" I don't think she had everything hanging out, Mama Charlize. Mama Charlize really don't like Alyssa too much, which is interesting because we found out in another clip that Mama Charlize, for a little bit, she was a model herself. She said she was a hair and clothing model, and she married a really conservative guy. So I don't know if one point in time what Miss Charlize could have been Alyssa her doggone self. I don't know. But anyway, Bravon was once again feeling insecure about taking off her makeup, but she didn't have nothing to worry about. She looked pretty. And they all started going over their bills. And Alyssa's bills added up to about 1,200. And then Miss Charlize had to say, I hope she's getting a whole lot of tips. Miss Charlize don't like Alyssa. She don't like Alyssa, y'all. But Alyssa's spending $150 on yoga, 180 on hair color, hair product, 300 on makeup, and 300. I said, wait a minute, Alyssa, you just told us that 90% of the time you walk around barefaced. How can you be spending 300 on makeup in a month? Are you having someone professionally do your makeup? Because I'm thinking, how do you only wear makeup 10% of the time, but you spend $300 a month on makeup? This is crazy. Um, Sabernet said, I don't really spend as much because she does get her laser hair removal. And that's not going to be every month. Once you finish a section, you're done, Sabernet. And then she does her nails for 115, and then she gets certain beauty products about 400. So she wasn't too bad. And then Bravon said she was down to $20. Girl, $20. I don't even think you can get, you know, a combo meal at McDonald's for two people less than $20, Bravon. Girl, you need to do a little bit more for yourself. Oh, Bravon. Bravon needs to go on a whole self, it's not self-improvement, what's it called? Self-confidence journey. And what she needs to do is spend a little bit of money on herself, really boosting her self-confidence. And it might start with spending a little bit more money on herself. I know she's a staunch business person. She got multiple Airbnbs. But Bravon, you're going to need a little bit more balance, a little bit more balance. Business is good, but you also need to have a little bit more self-confidence. And if you are not confident about certain things, it's okay to spend money on yourself to help boost your self-confidence. She needs more balance, more balance. But in the end, the biggest spender was Alyssa. And Alyssa said she already know her bills are high, so she needs a man that's going to be financially stable. And she also needs a man that's not going to be cheap. Um, and even though she was sitting on there talking about how much money she was spending, James was over there grinning from ear to ear, ear to ear. He was grinning ear to ear. I don't know if this man's going to be able to look at anything except the beauty of Alyssa. Not at all. Not at all. You know, he decided to give Sabernet a date. And he said what I said last week, which was he wanted to see a little bit more of the spiciness of Sabernet. And she barely brought it out. Sabernet said that she was concerned about getting a massage on camera because her parents were going to see it. And I don't know if Sabernet is purposely being conservative, overly conservative, because she doesn't want to do anything to embarrass her parents. But what James is saying is, I need to see something, because this church girl act you got going on. I'm not saying it's just an act, but the church girl you got going on is not enough for him. He says he needs to see more. And he's saying he got to see a little bit of her little spiciness, a little bit of the sass, but she also kept it sophisticated. and he was happy to see that. And so she did just enough. I want to say that Sabernet did just enough to keep her alive in the game. Just enough. She didn't do enough to get herself back in the position where she's still on the level with Alyssa. No, Alyssa's still in the lead. She is still in the lead. But she did just enough to keep herself in the game. But I still think she's going to have to bring a little bit more. I don't know what Sabernet thinks that all flirting is low class. Sabernet, you need to learn how to flirt a little bit better, girl. You can still be respectful to your parents. You can still um, show a little bit of spice, a little bit of sass, a little bit of something without looking like a floozy. You need a little bit. You need a little bit more balance too. You got Brevon, who's all work and no play. You got Sabernet, who's all church and no fun. And you got Alyssa over here working James like he is a big spender, a big fish in the nightclub. And she's waiting for a big old fat check at the end of the night. You know, Sabernet mentioned she comes from a two-parent household, so I know Mama Charlize loved that. And when she mentioned that, James perked up. He said, "Ooh, parents with an S. You got two." He said, "You got two parents. That's what I'm liking. That's what I'm liking." So we see how this works out. I'm hoping at the very end, James does choose Sabernet because I think she's the better fit for him. And I hope that he gives her a chance for the long run because I think the deal with Alyssa is for the short run. I don't even think James is even what Alyssa wants, to be honest with you. I really don't, because I'm going to tell you what, James may make a lot of money as a software engineer. He probably has a very good, decent salary. But the type of spending Alyssa really wants to do, I don't think James is going to be doing that. Because let me tell you, engineers, we run numbers, we want ROIs, we run cost benefit analysis. And there is a point where we say that benefit ain't worth the cost. So beware, beware, beware. But anyway, that's all I got, y'all. That's all I got. We will talk to y'all next week. Bye.